What's up, everybody? How we feeling tonight? Okay. Yo, first and foremost, thank you for attending the Welcome to the Underground 3-Day NYC Mini Music Fest. We appreciate y'all, presented by Underground Advocates. Make some noise for yourselves for being here. My name is Frank Knight. I am the CEO and founder of Underground Advocates. I'm also a music artist. That's what actually helped create the foundation of funding and finding and creating this platform for independent creatives to have a place to shine and do their thing. And we have this amazing, lovely space called Creative Visionary Space that is actually a space that me and my brother, Space versus Man, there's a lot of spaces in there, you know what I mean? Like, because I guess because I'm a guy with bars, so I had to put the space. So you ain't gonna do that. So like, things be happening. This is the Creative Visionary Space. Is a place that we created for creatives to express themselves, to have that hub, to have that home. We've opened up in August, and funny enough, because we so lit, the building on some bullshit, so they kicking us out in January. Yeah, I know, right? It's so, but no matter what, I always like to say every setback is a setup for a come up. So, and a lot of, we're gonna get a better spot. You know what I mean? And I'm just thankful for the time that we do have here right now. It's just really dope to see all of the people that's continued to come and support Underground Advocates and just every other creative throughout the years. Like you bring your friends and you just be like, yo, this is actually a cool vibe. And so many things are happening, like this event. And we have so many different conceptual themed events, such as like our BK Art Fest, which highlights all forms of artistry, especially visual artists, music artists, comedians, and things of that nature, poets and whatnot. But the Welcome to the Underground is getting back to those roots of us being that music platform, which is why we wanted to do like 3 days of just pure dope artistry, underground style. You know, it doesn't matter who's in the room. It doesn't matter how many in the room. It just matters. Well, it does matter who's in the room because you are in the room. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to say. It doesn't matter how many's in the room because when we all come together, we ride the wave of being a million times infinity. You know. This panel right now, I'm actually going to moderate. It's a very special panel to me because it's called My Art, My Craft, My Path. It's about independent music artists who've been on their journey as creatives, who have been able to navigate this industry, navigate this game, and continually grow in all of the trials and tribulations that they've gone through, been through, and overcame and exceeded beyond anybody else's beliefs and sometimes even your own belief, you know, to just get to where you got to, because it is a really, really, really trying path to do this artistry, you know. And I'm so grateful for our panelists. Make some noise for the panelists, y'all. Also, I do want to announce we do have a food vendor outside. If you go to the backyard, Exotic thing, she has some of the most fire food. Like she does like these Caribbean pineapple bowls with like your plate is the look at that. That beautiful skinny young man who's been DJ. That was crazy. Also, I want to shout out, you know, African Promotions over there, our amazing vendor. She got everything, you know what I mean? Like, she got the health, she got the elevation. So just make sure you tap in with the vendors, and, you know, see what they got. But right now, I'm going to pass the microphone on, and I'm going to give you guys pretty much how the format will go. I'm going to ask questions to each of the panelists, and they'll each individually answer the questions. It's going to be like 20-25 minutes, so we're going to just have a dope ass conversation, and then whatever the flow is that, you know what I mean? Bruce Lee style, flow like water, you feel me? So first, who I'll introduce or allow himself to introduce himself. Go, brother.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? I go by the name of MC Reef. I'm a hip hop artist from New York. We outside.
Hi, everybody. I am Sherry John. I am a singer, songwriter. I'm multifaceted. Singer, songwriter, actor from Brooklyn, New York, also artist advocate, all the above. There you go.
How's everybody doing? My name is Dex McBean, artist, Brooklyn, New York, activist, climate activist mainly, financial literacy rapper, and spoken word artist.
Hi, everybody. Can I get a hi? I'm Dova from Brooklyn, New York. I make music, I act, I direct, anything that has to do with the arts. Thank you guys for coming tonight. I am very excited to be here.
Yo, it feels like everybody's from Brooklyn. Because I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? All right, Brooklyn, do it big. You feel me? All right, so my first question is, whoever, actually, let's start back with Dover, and then we'll just go on from there. What was the moment or series of moments that made you decide to commit to being an artist, and how has understanding of your purpose in your art evolved since then?
I had a troubled childhood in which I did not want to exist, and I felt I didn't know where my life was going to go. And it took a couple of trials and tribulations for me to get to a place where someone noticed the artist in me and suggested I take that route. And when I did, it allowed me the space to step outside of myself and my shell and explore all these ideas that I had in my imagination that I was afraid to express until I found the right people and spaces in which I could express that. And I really enjoyed the interaction and the exchange of myself and the audience. And when I first received that gratitude for me being me, that's when I realized this is what I wanted to and needed to be doing. And it's been history ever since then.
Woo, make some noise. Feel free to clap.
I think I've always felt like an artist inside, and I've just always been trying to prove it to myself through performance with everybody else. I kind of just committed to it. One day I was offered a job, for something that I went to school for, was computer science, and my boss called me and he said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I want to write songs, I want to rap." And he's like, "All right, well, take care." And it wasn't like the most stable thing for me to do, but it felt right at the time. Since then, I've just always committed to being able to have the time to explore that art, and through that journey, it's just brought me in different spaces where I've come to translate what used to be something that was almost considered a childish thing into something that could be translated to more adult themes and more adult topics, and being able to use my talent of hip hop to relay bigger messages than I thought I ever could. So that's when I decided that this would be something that I'm gonna try and grind through and get through till the wheels fall off.
What's up? Well, I'm a little different because I actually grew up in a house full of singers. So I've been singing since I was 3. And when I wanted to become a singer and pursue music and be in this industry was the day I walked in my living room and saw the video of Whitney Houston singing "Greatest Love of All." And I just stood in the middle of the living room and was like, wow, I want to be like her. And ever since then, I've been like trying to emulate and follow the dream of singing. And because I have a bunch of singers in my family, there was always music being played. I was in every talent show. I was very popular in school, so everybody would want me to sing or dance. I even came up with a rap song. That was my first song I've ever written for science class, and it was The Human Habitat. That was the name of it. And it was like the HUMANHABITAT. It's the human habitat. That's it. So that's when I first wrote my first song with my group. At the time, I was in a group too. But yeah, that's when I just fell in love with music from the very beginning. So.
That was a touching story. So I kind of relate to Sherry in a sense. So in high school, I got in trouble for sneaking electronics through the metal detectors. Like phones and PSPs, you know, I was the guy. I was the plug, you feel me? And we had just got a new dean at the time, and he used to be a cop. He didn't tell us that at the time, but he used to be a cop, so like watching civilians was his thing. So one day he ended up catching me, you know, sneaking stuff into the school, and he gave me a choice. Either I could be expelled or I could join this program and write some music. I never wanted to be a music artist, by the way. That was never one of the things in my bingo card, you know. But then I also met another creative. He was a producer from the Netherlands. He couldn't speak English, but he knew like a little bit of whatever. So we would chop it up however we can. And when he learned how to speak a little English, one of the first things he said was, if you continue to write music, I'll produce your first project. And when we graduated, we was in his crib with the wire hanger. We had the stocking for the pop filter. And we had the wired headphones and stuff like that. And we recorded my very first song right in his bedroom. And he said it right then and there. He said, yo, if you're serious about this, you can go far with this. So I think that was like the real series and events that really, you know, captivated that for me.
Yo. Yeah, Sherry, right the same. Nah, yo, you know what's so dope? Just want to throw this in. I remember that story because you told that when we were in London earlier this fall. Like it was like months ago. Yeah, in September. And I just think that's such a passionate thing, an amazing thing too. Also having those people in your lives who want the better for you in utilizing the tool of music to be able to, like, or art, just art in general, to be like, yo, there's more for you out here. Put that same dedication to doing wrong, quote unquote, and put it in something productive, something that you might like, and watch how that helps and heals so many others. So I think that's dope. And when you were talking about the, I had a thing, and I was already rapping then, but I was when I was in school, it was a chemistry thing, and I had to go like I had to write a rap too, but I just jacked Jay-Z's public service announcement, and I was like, they call me H to the 2O. So that's it. Yo, it's come because it's a science, son. Word to the gods. Now let me stop. Yeah. Yo, thank you guys for sharing that origin story. It was really beautiful. So, all right, we can start with Reef again. So this question I have is, in your own words, what does it mean to be an artist today? And how do you balance the personal, creative side of artistry with the business demands of the music industry?
Wow, that's powerful.
Yo, Chat GPT. Let me
Okay, so you see, that's my problem right there. The rising creation of technology. So to be real with you, don't oh-boy me. To be real with you, I've always had a passion in creating your own stuff. Even though I've never been like an artist, like that was never my thing growing up. When I got into it, I realized it was just so beautiful to create your own stuff, have your own story to tell, you know, and to meet people and to have them share their pain with your pain, like that's unmatched. You know, you can't get that from AI rap, you can't get that from Chat GPT, you can't get that from nowhere. How I balance it, to be real, I just blend it. You know, I think ultimately, you know, if I were trying to separate it, if I were trying to treat myself, like, to be honest, I used to watch Hannah Montana. I don't know, you know, I don't know about anybody else, but that was my thing at the time, you know, and it was kind of amusing to me how she was able to be Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, you know, so I kind of wanted to do that same thing, not necessarily live a double life, but I wanted to be able to show people that I can do something creative and still be myself without changing myself, you know, without giving into the fame and being like, oh, I'm a rapper now, people pay attention to me and stuff like that. I wanted to keep it real, you know, like, you know me as who I am, you know what I'm saying? Those of you that know my name, it's real, it's personal. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't want to create this facade that I'm like a superstar now, and you can't get close to me, and you don't know my life story or nothing like that. So I just wanted to blend it all together and show everybody, you know, that we can do something creative, we can be famous, we can be rich or whatever, but we can also still be human and have a personality. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, could you read that again for me? You're supposed to be paying attention, moderator. But
I am paying attention.
I'm kidding,
Actually,
I'm
it's
kidding.
all off the dome too,
ahead,
son.
do
I
your
already
thing.
know it. Like, it was pretty much talking about how, as a music artist, how do you balance the creative side, the personal side, along with the demands of the music industry.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I kind of started from the back end and in the industry. Basically, I have a background in law, so I worked at a law firm for four years, and I've dealt with all types of law. But my most intriguing thing was entertainment law, simply because I wanted to be in the industry since a kid. And you know, as you get older and life happens, you know, you get stagnant and you feel like you can't make it in the industry. So when I was at the law firm, I got to work on cases for Rick Ross and Peter Guns and Corey Guns. I got to work on those cases, and I was like in close proximity. So at that firm, they would teach you how to read contracts and develop that kind of information, you know, because as artists we don't get into that. We automatically just see the glitz and the glam, and we're like, yo, I want to be like that. I want to be like Jay-Z. I want to be like all these people. But me growing up, I was like, I don't want to file for bankruptcy like TLC and Tony Braxton and all that. So when I got into the law firm, I wanted to learn those things. I got my own publishing at BMI at 18. Like, I was already on it because I didn't want to lead a life where I would be in bankrupt. I'd be filing for bankruptcy. And aside from like balancing it, I became intentional. So like even like right now, you have to be intentional with the things you want to do as an artist. Right now, I work from home. I have a 9 to 5, and it's corporate. They're stationed wherever they are, but I'm always on point with my job because I'm good at whatever I do. When I put my mind to it, I'm going to do it right, 100%. And then I have the opportunity to also create. So before, obviously, you have to learn that. You can't just come into the game and be like, yeah, I'm going to just get a job working remote, because everybody's not working remote. So be intentional with your stuff, and yeah, that's just. And I learned, like I said, I learned the business first, and now I'm just kind of like getting into the artist stuff. Well, not into it just now, but I've been doing it for a long time. I'm not gonna tell you my age, but I just been very intentional with the work that I do, and I'm kind of like a person who likes to be hands-on with stuff. I want to know what's going on. And you also have to keep in mind, too, that could take away from your artistry sometimes when you're too intentional. So kind of learn how to work with other people so, you know, you could delegate and balance the work. And that's pretty much how I float.
When I started doing this music thing really intentionally myself, it was with my band or my group. We had a group called the Hefners. It was in about the mid-2000s, and out of that company, we formed a company. Like, you know, I got to shout out to my guy Conversation, because he had us on point with the business from at that point. You know, we had ASCAP, he had a TIN, it was LLC, so he was already in that space. And we read this book, Donald Passman's Everything You Need to Know About the Music Industry.
I got the new edition.
You got the new edition. I haven't read it in so long. And out of that, we formed a group called the Ashy Elbows. And it's a real thing. And we would sticker the city. We would put stickers every night we were out performing, and it gained a lot of popularity, but of course we didn't make a lot of money from it. You know, we sold CDs we sold CDs. And after the band kind of dissolved, I got into a space of, well, okay, I want to do this full time, but I also need something that could provide steady income, you know, but the flexibility of the time. So I got a profession, you know, a commercial insurance inspector is what I do by day. And that gives me the flexibility to have the time to pursue music, but also I started looking at the other channels where we were missing making money as artists. You know, I have an entire catalog of hundreds of songs, and they're ASCAP, but they're not, you know, licensed through MLC. You know, so I was missing publishing royalties. You know, because there's like 4 or 5 different streams that you get from one song. You know. Once I started putting those things into place and realizing that if I post something on Instagram or social media and I always put my music behind it, I get paid for that. You know, it comes in on my report every month. You know, so I started doing little things like that, even down to my Amazon membership. I have it set up where I have a playlist of just my music, just my songs, and every time I leave the house, I say, Alexa, I'm leaving, and she just plays that playlist all day. And I get that income, I get that revenue. Because after a while, I started looking at it as a business. What I'm doing, what my product that's in the store, my bag of chips, you know, my screws, my nails, whatever it is the art. And once I started conceptualizing as that and realizing that I am the store for the art, everything that I do is part of the store. My Instagram is an infomercial. Every time that I talk about these things, I'm basically promoting the art, but also using the art as a vehicle of income, you know, and that's been able to help. And I'm not saying I make $1 billion, you know, it's a couple $100 a month.
It makes a difference.
I would still be here because I love Frank. Yeah, once I started looking at it like that and realizing that music business is a lot of business if you want to continue to make the music, I just started to realize how to balance it that way.
Personally, I'm learning as I go, especially the business aspect of it. I feel as an artist, I think it's very important to connect, finding a way to connect, finding a way to give people hope. I want to return what people have given to me, which is the belief that I can do it too. And I think everything else flows after that. I mean, it has for me, you know, I'm learning, you know, obviously I want to turn this into a full-time job, but in the meantime, I have to figure out how I can keep a roof over my head, food in my stomach, clothes on my back, and it's an ongoing balance. It's an ongoing learning experience, because it's like you either have a lot of time to create and barely any money, or you're making a lot of money and barely any time to create. But at the end of the day, you know where your passion lies, and you know where you feel your purpose is, and you just got to keep going towards that. No matter what stagnancy comes across your plate, no matter what blockages, you just got to remember why you started and why you continue to do it.
And for all artists out there, I forgot to say that because I had the law background, I was also able to show other artists, because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of artists don't want to do the paperwork because it's very it's extensive. It's a lot of English words that they don't even want to comprehend, you understand? And not to say that they don't want to comprehend, but it's a lot of work. It becomes time consuming. So I started, as artists, we can do things to help. Whatever skill you have, you can help other artists by just allowing them to hire you to do the paperwork. Like I would start some artists, I would help out with their catalog if they want to get their music copyrighted and like set up their accounts for BMI or ASCAP. I would do that for a fee, and you know they can entrust me because I deal with finance all day long. But I'll set up the accounts and then I'll just send it off to them and they can go from there or whatever. If you help people, that's a source of income for you. There are so many ways we can make money by helping each other with the skills that we have.
That's actually amazing. Yeah.
And one last thing I want to add too, this sounds so like cliche or whatever, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to go hard for yourself. And then everybody will get on the wave. Because if you think that you can make money off of your art, you will. But until then, it just, you won't be aligned with that currency. You won't be aligned with that energy or those opportunities. It really comes down to believing in yourself and energy, really, and putting that energy out there for yourself. Because if you're not showing up for yourself, if you're not telling people like, yo, this is what I do, fuck with it, nobody's even gonna know what you're doing. Nobody's gonna be interested at all.
Yo, real soul, give it up for that. All right. Actually, let's start with you, Dex, on this question. Can you describe a moment within in music or in the music industry that you've faced a obstacle that was a big hindrance for you, and how did you overcome it, or are you still getting through it?
Yeah, I think we're all always still. I think we're all always still getting through it, you know, until that moment that this is our full-time job. But I think from what I remember, the biggest hindrance that I had was when the group, the Ashy Elbows, we dissolved. We got lotioned up, and we was like, no, cocoa butter only, cocoa. Nah, it was just cocoa butter. Nah, yeah, my partner, it was the choice between stabilizing regular life and trying to balance the both. And at that time, he chose to stabilize regular life, and he moved to Orlando. So me also with the group dissolving, and me getting older and thinking about what else to rap about, you know, I started getting more in line with my credit, my finances, you know, and as I started learning about it, I was like, man, this shit is dope. I should write a song about this, you know. And I wrote a song, and then I wrote another song, and then I wrote another song, and I decided I'm gonna make an album. I'm gonna call it Wealth. We All Live to Hustle. It'll be the first financial literacy album.
That's fire.
And but after I did that, from not being back in the scene, you know, underground, the things that I used to do before were no longer available. There's a whole new different type of underground music scene. So I wanted to find a way that I could promote this album, promote what I was doing, and I decided to go do poetry. So I went and I did a poetry slam, and the first poetry slam that I did was at the Brick. It was for BK Poetry Slam. It was at Brick downtown, and I did bars from the album, no instrumental, just as poetry, as spoken word, and I won that first slam. And it was from there that I started getting invited into other venues, and doing other things and being exposed to other ways that you can align what you have been doing for years, because these are all talents, these are all skills. We've put in the 10,000 hours. Everybody that's on this panel has put in the 10,000 hours to be professionals at songwriting, at rapping, at singing, at producing, and because of that professionalism, we need to translate those skills to be able to be professionals in that. I was also, I guess, gifted enough to meet a friend of mine, Baba Brinkman, who started a company called Event Rap, and he's a science rapper. He's a climate rapper. He's been doing this for about 10 years. He's rapped for Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Steve Hawkins, and they have all given him the thumbs up for that. And one day he invited me to be a part of this company that he started called Event Rap. He said, what you're gonna do is we're gonna write songs about things that people ask us to. I said, okay. He said, all right, here's the first song. It's for the Business School of Singapore. They want you to synthesize their entire curriculum and turn it into a rap song. I said, all right. I turned it into a song. They loved it, and that was the first project on Event Rap. Fast forward, he asked me to write a song about climate change, about carbon removal. So I read the text. I got all the information. I wrote it for this nonprofit called Nori. They loved the song. Somehow it got into the hands of the United Nations. The United Nations said, okay, we love this. Can you write a song for us? I said, sure, no problem. They said, okay, can you come to this conference, U.G.A 6, in Nairobi, Kenya, and perform the song to open the ceremonies in front of all the delegates and ministers and presidents. I said, no problem, because what else am I going to do, right? So they flew me out last year to do that, and I performed at the United Nations headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. And it's all just been from the professionalism of the things that we've been doing all these years. Even this morning, I just got back from Brazil, from doing.
Oh, you stunting on us. Like, what other country you went to?
Saying because like I was in Pluto, you know. No, because to Dova's point, is to inspire, you know, because I didn't. If my friend Baba did not inspire me and have the vision in me to say, hey, I think you can do this. I think you can go and freestyle off the top about climate change. You know, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't have done it. You know, so we just got back from Belém, Brazil, which is the mouth of the Amazon, rapping about climate change. You know, and it's possible. It's possible to align your passions, align your beliefs, and your art and your business, and make it happen.
Yeah. My brother done went across the globe. I done forgot the question.
Around the world,
I'm inspired though.
So the question, it was, let me just get it from, because that was
more
amazing.
Off the dome, no more. Huh? Pause that. It's all good. It's all good.
Yo, that was crazy. All right. So the question, as soon as you did that, I got it.
It popped right
yeah,
back.
exactly.
No problem.
It was, as a music artist, what has been perhaps the biggest hindrance in your journey as a music artist within the music industry, or just within music? Is it something that and how have you gotten past it, or are you still getting through it?
Yeah, so my biggest hindrance is finding great producers. I am a singer, and I'm not your typical studio singer. I told you guys, Whitney Houston is my idol. Like, I love her, and she you know, like, obviously we're not gonna be doing Whitney Houston music, right? Today's music change or whatever, but like, it's important for an artist who's a singer to be produced by a producer, you know, and have good engineering. I have a lot of songs that I just will not release ever because sonically it sounds bad. You know what I mean? And and a lot of times it's best to work with musicians because they get it. They can hear a key or whatever. They can assist you with how to sing a song in a certain tone, whatever, right? So that's been like one of my biggest hindrances in this industry that I am still going through today. I've gotten better by developing an ear for myself and dealing with other producers who have experience with touring, because it's a small community in this music industry, if you haven't noticed already, and especially with musicians. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. And I am a great networking individual. I know everybody. So because of my networking skills, I was able to go to the studio, or I'm unafraid to ask questions. So I'll be like, hey, do you know somebody who's doing this? You know, I need a vocal coach. They know 10, you know what I mean? So it was important for me to just go to those musicians and ask them, okay, yeah, word, me though. Anyway, it was important for me to go to the studio or ask these musicians if, you know, to recommend me to someone who could assist me with getting better production. And that's really the main issue I was having in this industry. And also when my best friend decided she didn't want to do music anymore, we started our company together. We founded it together in 2014, and we got it as an LLC in 2014. So I had my LLC before it was like a lot of talk, you know what I mean? Because
what's the name of the company?
It's Visions Out Loud Entertainment, for those who don't know. But yeah, you know, we founded it together. She no longer wants to do music, so when I had to take on everything, like literally doing everything, it became overwhelming. I would be like super tired because it's like work. I have to be at my job, and then I have to make sure I'm going to the studio, writing songs, creating, and then going to a networking event just so I could find me a good producer or some kind of situation to set me up to be here or to be across the globe, be in the Netherlands doing a festival, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So it became overwhelming, and also the fact that she's somebody I trust, because you can't trust everybody, obviously. It's a lot of phony people and a lot of people who are opportunistic. They just want something for themselves or whatever. They don't like help you out, you know, or if you can't do nothing for them, then they don't do nothing for you or whatever. They feel like, well, all right, pay me $250, and that $250 wasn't worth anything because it was shit. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest hindrance, and I'm still going through that. You know?
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
So my biggest hindrance, I want to say, really was just finding my audience. So aside from me not wanting to be a music artist, I've never been popular, never been famous, never been like the most liked or anything like in school or anything like that. Even amongst my siblings, I wasn't like the popular one.
Never a VIP.
Never a VIP, you feel me? So that song came from the heart when I got there to that point. But to be honest with you, you know, I just kind of just said, fuck it. You know, I just realized that, you know, the only way you're gonna get ahead is if you believe in yourself. And it took me a while to get there because, you know, I didn't know who I was. You know, and I was really trying to figure out, like, am I really a music artist? Am I really a human? Am I really into what I'm into? You know, am I creating the things that I'm creating? You know, I had to really go through all these questions and try to figure out myself. And it didn't help when I had other people that was against me, like, you know, people calling me ugly, people calling me stupid, people calling me dumb, you know, all these types of things. So I think with creating music, it allowed me to express myself in a way that people never experienced. And to add to that, I've never spoken a lot, you know, so a lot of people even now seeing me on the panel would be shocked. They're like, yo, why are you talking so much, you know, because they've never gotten a hello out of me. You know, so no, seriously, it's been real. Like, I've been quiet around people. I never wanted to say anything because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to be, you know, like things of that nature. But my uncle, I feel like my Uncle P was the biggest inspiration, you know, because he wanted me to do something other than rap. He wanted me to be a lawyer, a firefighter, a mailman, stuff like that. But at the time that I started writing music, I didn't want to do that. I was like, I'm not doing this shit, huh? And he used to be like, nah, bro, but you can't be a bum. You can't be this. You can't be, you know, living like 40 years old and regretting this and that. And it was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm still going to live the life that I want to live at that time. So I think I created a song, actually. It was called Low Life. And then I followed up with it with a song called Fatherless. And those are like two of the most personal songs to me at the time. And when I presented them to my uncle, I remember we was in a car when I played for him the Fatherless track, and he was like, damn, champ, I didn't know you felt like that. And then a week later, I sent him the Low Life music video, because I shot the music video, and I actually portrayed a homeless person in that video. And my family had like crazy negative reviews about it. They was like, damn, I don't expect to see you homeless or nothing like that. You know, so, and my niece, you know, she had nightmares and stuff like that. But my uncle called me, I want to say like maybe 2 days later. He was like, yo, the fact that you can tell a story about something and you can put it to a beat and you can make it sound like it's something like that's real that everyone is going through, you a star. So from that moment right there, I was like, I don't care what nobody else got to say. You feel me? I'm going to continue writing music. I'm going to continue putting my heart into this. I'm going to continue writing real life stories, you know, and that was my overcoming of that obstacle, you know, like once people started realizing, yo, I don't need to rap about clubs and hoes and money and cars and stuff like that. Like, I'm rapping about real stuff that people go through and people relate to it. And then I started seeing people showing up to my shows. Like I want to say, I started performing in 2014. for like the first 2 years, the same 5 people showed up to my shows every single time, no hesitation. They bought tickets, they came out. No matter how many times I bombed my set, they was there cheering for me and all of that, court footage and everything. And that was the moment for me where I realized, you know what? If these people are coming out for me, if my uncle believes in me, if my family is listening to my lyrics and they starting to like it and stuff like that, why am I cheating myself? You feel me? Why am I trying to give up? No. So I decided to keep on doing what I was doing, and here I am today. You know, I'm touring across different countries. I'm meeting people. I'm shaking hands and kissing babies. I'm doing all this stuff in between. You feel me? Like I'm doing everything in between to show people that, you know, like, this is real. This is life right here. You know, so yeah. I know a lot of people. You know, a lot of people look at the music industry and they're like, yo, I want to be famous. But for me, is I just want to make impact, and I feel like I've been doing that lately, just making a huge impact.
Hi everybody, I'm Dova, and my biggest hindrance is myself. Imposter syndrome is real. Imposter syndrome is a bitch, and I am super grateful to have the personality and charisma that I do, to be able to connect in any space, but that imposter syndrome will kick in and tell you you're not worthy enough, and tell you nobody likes you, and tells you that you're not even interesting enough. And you have to fight against that every day in the mirror, because if you're here, it's because you're meant to be here, and it's because people are interested in what you do and what you have to say and what you have to share. And it's an everyday thing. It's something that you kind of just don't get over. You have to wake up every day and tell yourself, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna show up, and we don't have any expectations, we're gonna have fun. It's because this is what we wanna do. And now we have the opportunities to do it. So why are you gonna pull yourself out of it? And yeah, it's real.
Yeah. That's, I felt that. And to you said mailman and firefighter. Look at you delivering fire messages. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up with this last question, because I want to get to the DJ panel, then get into the performances. So, try your best to keep it short, simple, and sweet. You guys are saying so much powerful stuff, and I'm sorry to even have to just put that in there. And we can just start with you again, Dove, and just go back and all the way down to Reed. What is, when it comes to advice to anybody who is interested being a music artist in the music industry, anything just in that realm, what is some practical, real world advice that you can give to them about making or taking the initiative to pursue this journey? What's something that you would tell somebody?
My biggest advice is, if you like it, put it out there. Don't wait till it's perfect. Whatever perfect means, it's never gonna be perfect, because at the end of the day, there's an audience for everyone. Just like there's so many different bread brands in the bread aisle, and somebody's gonna buy each and every brand in that bread aisle. Same thing with your art, same thing with what you wanna put out there. There's an audience for everyone. So just share it. Just, if you fuck with it, share it. Eventually there's gonna be people that are gonna fuck with it too. And if they don't, it's okay. You just keep sharing until people hop on the bandwagon, hop on the wave. And that's my biggest advice.
Woo! Yeah. Artists be hoarding.
I would advise to eliminate the frictions that prevent you from making art through information, through learning. You know, anything that's making it more difficult or more costly for you to make art, learn to do it yourself. You know, when I was blessed to learn Pro Tools. I was blessed to be able to engineer my own vocals. I was blessed to look at this industry and look at this art form as a way for me to express myself, but also, be part of my income stream of life. And the best way for me to continue to do that, because I was gonna rap for free regardless, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to monetize it and it's almost like a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? And also, don't be afraid to use AI, right? But not in the way that you think as an artist, right? Because an artist, you need a marketing agent. Ask AI what's the best marketing strategy. It will tell you word for word. Ask it the things that you don't know, and it will give you the answer word for word, right? Do that, implement those things, and stay true to yourself and your message. And trust me, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would say be a kind person. Manners get you far. You understand what I'm saying? I've been doing music for a very long time, and I know a lot of people, and I don't get into no he say, she say drama. I don't do none of that. So just be kind. Be kind to yourself specifically, because we are our own worst critics. And also, if you love it, just do it. Desktop Records does nothing for nobody. Woo! I'm gonna side with her and put your shit out there, because you never know. You know what I mean? And be a kind person, and also get in rooms and make yourself known. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk to people. People want to work with other people, so you can talk to other people, make yourself known, and be honest about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because when you're honest, people will receive that. When you bullshitting, they're gonna receive that too and not mess with you, for sure. Because I know I'm one of them.
Tell it like it is. Damn, I'm not gonna lie. You guys touched on some very important parts. I would say stay true to your art. You know, whatever you're creating, whatever you're writing, painting, building, whatever, make sure it's true to who you are. Definitely get out there and network. You know, stop acting like people are just gonna discover you. Go talk to people. You know, because I used to be one of those people that would perform and leave. You know,
Yep, don't be that person.
Don't be that person. Definitely, it doesn't help you at all. You're not getting nowhere. So talk to people. You never know who wants to work with you. You never know who likes your art. And I think one of the more things is definitely learning the business side of it. Like, everyone thinks it's so easy to just pick up a microphone and hop in the booth and get on stage and jump around. But when they hit you with them contracts, when they hit you with them relationships and everything that you gotta manage and foster and stuff like that, you're definitely gonna wish you had that power, that ability, that freedom. So make sure you out there and you learning the game as much as you learning how to shine and floss and be the star.
I would like for our panelists to shout out their social media handles, and also anything that you got releasing that you dropping, plug that too, please.
What's up, everybody? I go by the name of MC Reef. You can find me on all social media platforms at I am MCREEF. I'm dropping a bunch of new music next year. I don't have any specific schedule as of yet. I recently just signed with a manager. That's something that some of you guys should look into. If you feel like you don't need it, you don't need it. That's cool. But you know, I'm at a point in my career now where I'm like, okay, maybe I need it. Yeah, I got some merch. This is my new collab piece. It's called "Did You Support Your Friends Today?" So make sure y'all support your friends and stuff. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on. You know, just follow the IG, follow the TikTok. They're all at the same name. I am MC Reef, and you know, I'm posting new stuff every day. So appreciate this, the love and support.
Yeah.
I am Sherry John. So my social media is all the same. Sherry John, SHERIJOHN _ across the board. I put out an EP 2 years ago called The Phoenix and all that. But I'm currently working on the second part. It's a 3-part series, so the title is tentative. So for now, it's Phoenix 2. But I'll be changing it. But I'm working on a new EP, and you might see me in some TV shows.
She's a star. Yeah. She getting your favorite shows, y'all know that.
My name is Dex McBean. You can follow me on Cash App. It's Dex McBean, DEXMCBEAN across the board, all social media. I got the financial literacy album coming out, Wealth. We all live to hustle. I've been holding back on it, just trying to make sure that I had everything in place that I had in my mind right for it. But also just, I guess, keep up with me in general. I'm always trying to do poetry shows. I'm just generally outside.
Hi everybody, I'm Dova, and you can find me on all streaming platforms at c.dova. I have music out, I have music videos out, currently working on some singles, will share soon. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to Frank, thank you so much to U.G.A, thank you so much for this platform. And yeah, show me some love, I show love back. Thank you guys, thank you guys.
And with that said, that concludes this My Art, My Craft, My Path panel. One more time, please give it up for the amazing panelists. Please make sure you take the time to speak.